Thank you for joining today. So, if you have checked yesterday's live stream, you don't have to basically, but we had an issue where I was installing Prometheus stack and I was not able to connect it with Robusta. So, I basically got it fixed. Um, this is really cool. I wish that had happened yesterday in the stream itself, but I was totally looking at a different place, looking at different things. So it was uh, an issue there. Today we'll fix it. I'll just wait for a bit to see if things joining and if the stream is going really well or not. We'll start. So I'll also be just showing around a little bit of Prometheus, and we'll just looking over the things. So it's I know a little bit of Prometheus, so I'll try to explain the same. Um, for that, we'll just wait for a moment. Yeah, okay, right. So we'll just get straight into it. I'll share my screen. And after yesterday, I made this interesting. Cool. So now we'll just get straight into it. So basically, we are using Prometheus. Prometheus is a you could call it a tool or a software that lets you do that gets installed on your own cluster and lets you it just stores data. It's called time series. So if it's like this minute, let's say it was time like 8-4, the number of people that joined the stream, and at the same time the amount of data being used, that sort of things. All of that it gets stored in Prometheus. Little simpler way of showing it would be so if you have your Prometheus. So basically, right now, at least in terms of understanding Robusta or in terms of understanding Prometheus in just this context, what's happening is your Kubernetes cluster, it will have an alert. So you will have Prometheus installed on your cluster, and Prometheus has a bunch of add-ons. So you can use. So here as we see, this is Prometheus, and all these other things are add-ons to Prometheus. For example, Alertmanager or Grafana and all of that are add-ons to Prometheus. So right now, Alert Manager is one such add-on to Prometheus, and we will use Alert Manager. So Prometheus sends the data to Alert Manager, and Alert Manager usually, so this is the normal flow without Robusta, and other Alert Manager sends the data to Slack. So you'll understand that there's an issue, but you don't know more about it. So for Robusta to work, you need to configure Alert Manager to Prometheus. So to do this, we'll do something called receivers and route. So using receivers and route will tell alert manager where to send the alerts that it received. So here in this case, this, this is the service that we are sending. So this service for us to send data to, it needs to be. Hi Avnish. Hi, good to see you. Um, So yeah, so right now what's happening is for us to send data from Prometheus to Robusta, we'll send it through Alert Manager. So Prometheus sends it to Alert Manager, and Alert Manager sends it to all the different places called the routes and receivers. It sends data to them. So right now what we have to do is configure data to be sent from the Alert Manager to Robusta. So to do this, we are using Prometheus stack. So one of the things that usually Prometheus is a separate thing, Alert Manager is a separate thing, Grafana is a separate thing. So all these are different tools that you can use independently. For example, you can take Alert Manager and use it with something else called Victoria Metrics, which is similar to Prometheus. So, but the most common way of using it is to use a bunch of these things together. And these, they could be, I mean, usually they are these things. So, so if you go to something called Prometheus community, and you find help all the different charts here. If you go see the charts, you have all these different charts. So if you look at just the Prometheus chart, this will have only Prometheus installed in it. Uh, Not just Prometheus. So here they are also saying, okay, Cube State Matrix is installed, and Alert Manager is installed, Node Exporter is installed, and something called as Push Gateway is installed. So all these things come in bundled, and we will be using something called Cube Prometheus Stack. So by default, Robusta can also install Prometheus stack, but if you already have an existing Prometheus stack, you can use it. So right now, the Prometheus stack consists of a few manifests, like a few built-in alerts and stuff. Hi, Srinivas. Grafana, Prometheus rules. So Prometheus rules by default, you won't get Prometheus rules, but when you use Prometheus stack, you'll have some rules that can be used to like. Basically route your alerts or ignore some alerts or something of that sort. So here we're not deep diving into Prometheus. So my goal right now is to explain the basic, the most basics of Prometheus, and also show you how to configure Prometheus, and then explain the mistake that I did yesterday and how it got solved now. So basically you don't need to understand anything about Robusta and Prometheus also, but this will just help you try to like understand or debug. And in case like, everybody uses Prometheus, so in case you are using Prometheus somewhere, this is going to be useful. um, so here all of these things get installed with Prometheus, and we'll just look at our cluster. um, if you are not using Cube Switch, give it a try, it's a very nice. Also use aliases, don't type things. Um, okay. So here, so we have a bunch of things. So here, the Robusta forwarder and Robusta runner are two things that are installed by us from Robusta. So what I did right now is I installed Robusta in the cluster, and I also installed Prometheus in the cluster. This is called Prometheus stack. So Prometheus stack installs all of these things. So prompt stream is the name, so that's why it's called prompt stream. And then this is Prometheus operator, Prometheus node exporter, alert manager. So alert manager and Prometheus are the two most important things that we'll be using. The rest of them, they get used in the background of Prometheus or something of that sort. So the main and the most, so if we go back to Robusta talks, so the important part Usually, you can configure this. So there are many ways of configuring this. If you go to first one. So this is a very confusing thing if you are using Prometheus. So I had the same issue. I still have the same issue of trying to understand. So there are multiple ways of installing Prometheus. So knowing where to configure your alerts is very, very important. So this is one of my blogs where I explain where to configure Prometheus alerts if you install Prometheus using a Helm chart. So when you are using a Helm chart, there are something called Helm values. It's a values. The file is what you use to configure the applications that you install using the Helm chart. So here that was an issue. So I did not know how to configure it. So I made a blog writing where you should add your alerts, where you should add your rules, and all of those things. Now that so now this is also something like this is a way you can configure the Prometheus community, Prometheus chart. But right now we are using Q Prometheus tag chart. So each chart might have a different way of configuring. Maybe this same way could work for this, but for some reason or if, I'm not sure if this is the only way. So we were asked to configure it using Kubernetes secrets. So Kubernetes secrets is a type of object which you give some data and it will store and not reveal the value of it, which is not true. It does reveal, but it will be stored in base64. We'll see that in a moment. So right now it just says, so we are doing this part where Alert Manager has to connect to Robusta. So that is the push integration. So Alert Manager has to push data. Um, so right now we'll have to add something called receiver on top, and then we'll do the testing, and then this part is also something I'll explain. Right. So if we go back to our cluster and so I'll use lens so that it's a little bit easy. Start this. So right now we have all the different components of Alert Manager and Prometheus running here, and both of these are Robusta related things. And here we have a bunch of secrets. Now, so if we go back here, so this was something that I got confused yesterday. That was, I mean, like I have to talk to the team and somehow change how this is written. But I'm not sure if it's okay to change it, so I didn't change it yet. But the problem here is that they explain that to configure an alert manager, you have to create a secret. And after it, it just says alert manager hyphen alert manager name. So what I did yesterday was I looked at the alert manager. So this is the alert manager. So I took this name and I tried to create a secret to give it the values of the receiver and route and configure alert manager. But the issue was there is already a secret that is present in the cluster itself, and it is so first thing we have to find that. So in the end it says generated. This is not our secret. I, yeah, this is the one, but we'll see. And there is another one called TLS asset 0, not that. Web config, not that. Alert manager 0. So this is something, this was the secret that I configured on my own, which is wrong. Like, see what I did? I just gave it the same name because I saw the alert manager and its name. Yes. So the alert manager's name was alert manager hyphen prom something something hyphen 0. So I took the same thing and created the name, which was a mistake. I realized that yesterday and I changed it, but it still didn't work because I configured something wrong. So what happened was, so this is basically the Prometheus secret. So by default, you don't get to see a secret like this. So what we have to do is we have to come here. So we use kubectl get secret. It's just an alias. Okay. Um, so if you like, if anyone's watching and if you have like a question or something, just put it in the comments and I'll try to answer. Thanks, Ramesh. So K gets secrets, and as we discussed, we need this one. Uh, we need that one. No, we need this one. We need the alert manager. So paste get secrets hyphen o YAML. So by default, we'll just see this part. So by default, it will just show you about the just the details about it. But if we use hyphen o YAML, it will show us the output, right? Net podcast writing my. Yeah. So it's like there's no structure or something like for me to follow right now because it's just me learning. But this stream, at least, I just decided that I learned a bunch of things about Prometheus and just wanted to like make sure like people know about it and stuff. So here, this is a secret. So actually, if you are like really thinking too much about Kubernetes secrets, I used to think that like I did not try secrets and stuff. Even now, I still didn't try, but it's pretty easy unless I don't know, maybe some big use cases. For the big use cases, it's hard. But right now, what's happening is, so this is the whole secret, right? So the data part inside a secret. So this is a secret. We know it because of the kind secret, and this is the metadata of the secret, and this is the name of the secret, and the type is opaque. There are few different types of secrets. Not really like I did not use them all, so I can't really explain them, and we'll look at just this. So this part of the secret was taken from a YAML, so an alert manager YAML. So someone, or at least when the Prometheus was installed, Prometheus Helm was installed, by default there was this file called alertmanager.yaml, and and the help file took that alertmanager.yaml and converted it into a secret, and that secret was placed inside. So now for us to add an alert or add rules or all of that, we need to modify this secret and add in our own receiver and route. So at this point, understand it from the perspective of getting your task done and not getting your task done using Robusta or for Robusta. So your goal right now is to connect or integrate your own application using this secret with Alert Manager. So you need to send data to your own application. That's your end goal. And I'll explain it practically using Robusta. That's it. Simple. So now what I'll do is I'll just take this part. Uh, so you can do this. You can use echo, and so the problem was that if I use echo, it's basically for some reason. Okay, fine. I think this is the same thing. So you can use echo, the same thing, and hyphen base 64 code. And what it'll do is it will give you the whole file as a YAML. So now we'll take the same thing. I have the same thing here. I have some secrets here, so I can just throw it in. So this is the yeah. So this is the file that we got, and this is the value that we have, the data part of this secret. And if we output it, we'll get this part. So here there is a default receiver, there is a default route. So yesterday the mistake that I did was to remove this, and remove this. And what I did was to go to Robusta documentation and add this receiver here and add this route here. Right. So I did this. And the next thing that I did was to basically, yeah, I think we could just do the same thing. Take it secrets. We have the secrets here, and this is the secret. So basically, what we're trying to do right now is to uh, so so usually when a configuration is changed, the configuration. So most of the time, like usually, what happens is for a pod to change its configuration, you should uh, recreate the pod. So instead of doing that, there are other methods of doing it. One is using a config map where you supply different configuration or different variable data, and the pod just takes it because the config map is built for that. Similarly, here in Qt Prometheus stack, there is something called Prometheus operator. Prometheus operator, and the Prometheus operator, yeah. So the Prometheus operator reloads the data that is being sent to the Prometheus. So when you and it works using this YAML file. So it works using the secret. So right now, what we'll do is we'll give it a new secret, and what it will do is it will take the value inside the secret and update your alert manager without you having to restart it. Basically, it's like a puzzle piece, and you can just pull out the puzzle, which is your secret, modify the puzzle, and then put it back. You just need it to be a secret, and secret with this name. So it has to start with alert manager and this exact name. Right. So now what we'll do is we can't create a secret or reconfigure a secret because the secret is has to be in the same name. What we have to do is we have to first delete the secret. Okay. So now that we've deleted the secret, we'll do cake here secret, and we'll just go here. So what it is, so basically you can create a secret directly using something called from literals. You can give the data directly like the username and password, but here we are using a file to create a secret. So here, so this thing is you directly giving. So it's called you can use the from literal, and this is the key example username, and this is the value of the user. But here we are doing it a little different, and that's using a file. So we are giving it a file, but here we don't want it to give alert manager file. We are giving it. uh, Okay. See, this is a mistake. So I'm not in the correct folder. So we'll give it original this, and we have to change its name. And for the name, we'll give it the same name. So here, so all of this I did yesterday. So this was all like I was doing it correctly. So the problem was yesterday I did not know where to look exactly. So now if we go, so my what I was doing was I was looking at the alert manager. So for me it felt logical to look at the alert manager and think that the alert manager is the think that's configuring it. So you're basically configuring the alert manager. So logically, if you do something, the alert manager has to show you the logs or errors saying something is wrong. So wait, is this even? So we don't, instead of doing that there, we can just and see the logs there. So we go to the apps please. Mm, okay, this is interesting. Yeah, logs. Let's see. Prometheus rule fails. Okay. Maybe it just detected that Prometheus is no longer connected. But for now, what we need is the alert manager. So right. So what I was doing yesterday was I was looking at the alert manager. So I came here. I was looking at alert manager logs. Oh, fine. So everything looks fine. Like alert manager isn't showing anything. So I went to robust logs. Robusta runner. Yeah, so Robusta logs also says nothing. Like it just says something like it's working or something. So yesterday at this point, there are two configurations. I think I did both the configurations, so it's not showing a lot of errors. I think we can recreate it. It just says start, and now we'll just wait for a second for it to restart. So at this point, we're still here. So we're trying to connect this part. Yeah, wait for a second. So this point, Robusta still thinks Alert Manager is connected because basically Alert Manager is actually connected. So that's the problem. Like I did not understand a thing. Like I was clueless of what was happening. If the Alert Manager was connected, so if you don't have Alert Manager connected, it will have a notification on the top saying connect your Alert Manager. So right now the Alert Manager is also connected. So I I was clueless. The problem was I was looking at the wrong place. Maybe I should do that here. Where is it? So where I should have looked is here. So the operator is where things happen. So so there was an issue in the operator saying it was not able to configure. I'm not sure if this is the same issue, like configure secret not found, key not found, secret configure. Yeah, I think this is our alert, right? So it's not able to like restart it, like it's not able to get it to work. So there was an other issue here saying the default routes and releases are not configured, which basically means me removing this part was causing the error. So now what I did was I finally changed that part. So I changed that to this. So I added the receiver directly here and I added the receiver here and left the hyphen name null and also the receiver. So for us to test if the alerts are actually working, if we give like if we try Robusta demo alert, basically it should we should not receive the alert anywhere here because alert manager doesn't know where to send the alert. So if we see this part, the main reason we are configuring routes and receivers is to tell the alert manager where to send the alerts. So right now the configuration is wrong. So the alert manager doesn't know where to send. So the configuration is also correct, but the alert manager expects a default route. So what if, so if the route doesn't match anything, so if this receives, here what happens is, here you use something called matchers. So if your alert matches this, it will send it to this part. Example, if it matches this, if it matches inhibitor or watchdog, it is sent to a null receiver. A null receiver is this part. Like it is not sent to anywhere. That's what I think it is. But the problem is, what I did was yesterday I configured a receiver and route to Robusta. But the problem was the alert manager needs something by default. What if it's not what if it's not able to send data to Robusta? So that's like edge case. Like where do these alerts go? So it needs to know that. So it didn't know that. So it did not send the data anywhere. So now what we'll do is, um, so what we'll do is we'll reconfigure it. We'll delete the same secret and we'll, so this time we'll create it using the alert manager YAML. And now let just give it a second or two for it to update the whole thing. And if we come, so if we go back to Vista and look at how this operator works. So now we don't have the same config secret not found issue. So hopefully now everything is working. So now if we go back here, so Robusta demo alert, it's an alert manager alert. So the alert manager needs to configure, needs to be configured for this to work. Hi, like is the audio like, I'm not sure if the audio is working. So right now we just got the demo alert. But damn, the audio is not working right now. Hi. Okay. Oh, so it's working. Okay, cool. So so here is the demo alert, which means we have successfully configured our alert manager. So the issue was to make sure we look into the right place. We have to just check the right pod to get the details, and we have to. So this is a list little misleading. I mean, like maybe it's evident, like people do understand straight away that there is another secret within it, but I did not understand. So maybe we'll kind of change things a little bit in the documentation, but I don't know. Like maybe there should have been a section saying if you already have it, this is how you configure it. Configuring, there's not much about configuring your Prometheus. Um,
Oh my god. And is the audio still audible? Uh, I think I might have had the wrong microphone all this time. I'm not so sure, but maybe I had the wrong microphone enabled all this time, and there must have been like a lot of noise and stuff. Ah, no. Okay. At least hopefully this is better right now. Yeah, I really did not expect that. Okay, cool. I'll have to check the go back and check. So another thing was here we need to also configure pull integration. So we need to add this to our um, Robusta, and we need to add this to Robusta. Give me a sec. Yeah, so we need to add that to Robusta. And the other issue, not an issue, but something that you need to understand is that here this is the namespace. So services, this is how services connect. So you need to give it the service name, and then the namespace, and then the service dot cluster dot local, so that it is so that other uh, so that someone else, like other pods or something else, can connect. So here I also didn't know what service name to give here, so I just found out that it has to be the Prometheus service, which is, yeah, this Prometheus service. So there were a bunch of things that I kind of understood and realized going through this whole thing. Um, but that is the solution. Like I think finally, like we've configured the whole Cube Prometheus stack, and the next is to do in cluster Prometheus installation. um it should be sort of similar. It should be sort of similar, and we should, like, we will try it tomorrow, not today. Yeah, the audio being a different thing is kind of messing me right now. um yeah, so that's it. Like, if you have questions or something, you can ask them. Doesn't matter if it's directly related to this right now, but um I think that's it for today. uh the configuration is done, which is great, but there are still other things that I do want to try. But before I could, like, try all the triggers and actions and all the other things that are in Robusta, I just want to make sure I complete this part of trying out Victoria metrics, trying out Azure Managed Prometheus, just Grafana with Alert Manager, and in cluster out cluster Prometheus. So we'll in the next streams we'll also try all of these things. And if you Thank you. Thank you. It's a CKAD. So CKA, it's a little more complex and involves a little more about cluster management, and all of those things. CKAD is a little more uh, management less focused and security less focused. It's less focused on security. Um, and yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, like, if I do know you on Twitter, I am not sure who you are. Like, it's a really different name. So thank you for joining. I'll just make sure, like, my audio next time, it's not messed up. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next stream, possibly tomorrow morning or evening or some other time. Bye.